For many decades following the Second World War, Germany maintained a notably restrained military posture. This approach was deeply rooted in its history, with a strong societal and political aversion to military assertiveness. Defense spending often lagged behind that of its NATO allies, and the Bundeswehr, Germany's armed forces, faced persistent issues with equipment readiness and modernization. The prevailing sentiment was that diplomacy and economic interdependence were the primary guarantors of peace and security in Europe. This long-held stance, however, began to face unprecedented scrutiny with the shifting geopolitical plates in the early 2020s, leading to a profound national discussion about Germany's responsibilities. The term Zeitenwende, meaning a turning point or an epochal shift, entered the global lexicon following Chancellor Olaf Scholz's landmark speech in February 2022. This address, delivered just days after Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, signaled a dramatic reversal of Germany's post-war foreign and security policy. It acknowledged that the old paradigms were no longer sufficient to address the new realities confronting Europe. The Chancellor announced a significant increase in defense spending and a renewed commitment to collective security, marking a departure from years of cautious military engagement. This declaration was not merely rhetorical, it was intended to usher in a new era for German defense. The initial reaction to the Zeitenwende was one of both surprise and, for many allies, relief. The scale of the proposed changes was substantial, catching many observers off guard given Germany's traditional reluctance to embrace a more robust military role. The commitment to significantly boost the defense budget and invest heavily in the armed forces represented a fundamental rethinking of national security priorities. This shift was not confined to the political elite. It also reflected a growing awareness among the German populace that the security environment had irrevocably changed, necessitating a more proactive and capable defense apparatus to protect national and European interests. This period saw a remarkable shift in public and political consensus regarding defense matters. Issues that were once contentious, such as major arms procurement programs or increased military budgets, gained broader acceptance. The debate moved from whether Germany should strengthen its military to how it should do so most effectively and responsibly. The Zeitenwende thus became more than just a policy announcement. It represented a deeper societal recalibration, acknowledging that Germany's security and prosperity were inextricably linked to its ability and willingness to contribute meaningfully to European defense and the NATO alliance in a more dangerous world. The primary and most immediate catalyst for Germany's defense policy overhaul was undeniably Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. This act of aggression sent profound shockwaves across the European continent, shattering the long-held assumption that major conventional warfare was a relic of the past in Europe. For Germany, which had cultivated significant economic ties with Russia, the invasion served as a brutal awakening. The stark reality of a revanchist Russia, willing to redraw borders by force, compelled Berlin to confront the inadequacies of its existing security posture and the urgent need for a more robust defense capability. Beyond the immediate crisis in Ukraine, broader geopolitical tensions had been simmering for some time, contributing to a growing unease about the international security landscape. The rise of great power competition, increasing instability in various regions, and the erosion of arms control treaties all pointed towards a more volatile and unpredictable world. The notion of a peace dividend that Germany and other European nations had enjoyed since the end of the Cold War appeared to be definitively over. This realization underscored the necessity for Germany to invest more substantially in its own security and to fulfill its responsibilities as a major European power. Consequently, Germany expressed a renewed and strengthened desire to be a more reliable and capable partner within both NATO and the European Union. For years, allies, particularly the United States, had urged Berlin to increase its defense expenditure to meet the NATO target of 2% of GDP. The Zeitenwende signaled a clear intention to finally meet this commitment and to shoulder a greater share of the collective defense burden. This was not just about numbers, it was about enhancing the Bundeswehr's operational readiness and interoperability with allied forces, thereby strengthening the overall deterrence and defense posture of the alliance in a critical region. This commitment has translated into tangible actions, including increased German troop deployments to NATO's eastern flank, particularly in Lithuania, where Germany leads a multinational battle group. Furthermore, Germany has become one of the leading providers of military, financial, and humanitarian assistance to Ukraine, supplying a range of equipment from air defense systems to armored vehicles. These contributions serve as concrete evidence of Germany's altered stance, demonstrating a willingness to take on greater responsibility for regional security and to support partners under threat, marking a significant evolution in its foreign policy engagement. A cornerstone of Germany's defense makeover is the establishment of a €100 billion special fund, or Sondervermögen, for the Bundeswehr. This substantial financial injection is specifically earmarked to address critical equipment shortfalls and to modernize Germany's armed forces over the coming years. For too long, the Bundeswehr had grappled with aging material, insufficient ammunition stocks, and delays in procurement. The special fund is intended to accelerate the acquisition of modern weapon systems, improve the readiness of existing equipment, and ensure that German soldiers are properly equipped to meet contemporary security challenges, ranging from territorial defense to international crisis management. Alongside this one-off special fund, the German government has pledged to raise its regular defense spending to meet and sustain the NATO target of allocating at least 2% of its gross domestic product to defense annually. This represents a significant long-term financial commitment. Planned investments through to 2030 and beyond include the procurement of advanced F-35 fighter jets to maintain Germany's nuclear sharing commitments, new heavy transport helicopters, modern combat vehicles, and enhanced naval capabilities. These investments aim to transform the Bundeswehr into a more agile, technologically advanced, and fully operational force capable of contributing significantly to collective defense. The surge in defense spending is anticipated to have noticeable economic impacts within Germany. Increased orders for military hardware and services are expected to create jobs in the defense industry and its extensive supply chains. German defense contractors, as well as European partners, are poised for growth as they ramp up production to meet the new demands. This industrial stimulus, however, also brings challenges, such as ensuring a skilled workforce and managing the capacity of the defense industrial base to deliver on these ambitious procurement programs efficiently and without undue delays or cost overruns. These new financial commitments have also necessitated adjustments to Germany's traditionally cautious fiscal policy. The creation of the €100 billion special fund, financed through additional debt, required a temporary suspension of the country's constitutional debt brake, which limits structural government deficits. This has sparked debate about the long-term sustainability of increased defense spending and its interplay with other national priorities. Balancing the urgent need for enhanced security with continued investment in social welfare, infrastructure, and climate action remains a key challenge for policymakers navigating this new fiscal landscape. While the Zeitenwende has garnered broad political support, reflecting a national consensus on the need for a stronger defense, it has not been without domestic debate. Proponents argue that enhanced military capabilities are essential for Germany's security and its responsibility to protect its allies and uphold the international order. They point to the changed security environment in Europe as undeniable proof that a well-equipped Bundeswehr is a prerequisite for effective deterrence and defense. This perspective emphasizes that security is the foundation upon which all other aspects of national prosperity and well-being are built. Conversely, criticism and concerns have been voiced by various groups. Elements of Germany's traditional peace movement, alongside some political factions, have questioned the scale of the military spending increase. They express worries that a renewed focus on military solutions could overshadow diplomatic efforts or lead to an arms race. Furthermore, there are concerns that the substantial financial resources allocated to defense might come at the expense of crucial social programs, investment in education, healthcare, or the urgent transition towards a green economy. This guns versus butter debate continues to feature prominently in public discourse. Despite these internal discussions, Germany is undeniably stepping into a more prominent leadership role in European security. Its size, economic strength, and geographical location place it at the heart of the continent. The Zeitenwende has accelerated this trajectory, with allies increasingly looking to Berlin to take on greater responsibility for coordinating European defense efforts and contributing capabilities. This involves not only strengthening its own military, but also actively shaping European security policy and initiatives, working closely with partners like France and Poland to address shared threats. This evolving role is closely linked to the broader push for greater European strategic autonomy. While remaining firmly committed to NATO as the cornerstone of collective defense, Germany, alongside France and other EU partners, is also advocating for Europe to develop more independent capabilities to act when necessary. This includes strengthening the European defense industrial base, improving military mobility across the continent, and developing common strategic foresight. Germany's renewed commitment to defense makes it a central player in these efforts, aiming to build a Europe that is a more capable and sovereign security actor on the global stage.